Shivaya Nama Thiruppaatu. Welcome back to our discussion on Thiruppaatu. Today we are starting with the next padigam, which is historical sequence is the fifth one, and according to the pun sequence this is the 58th padigam. This belongs to a place called as Thirukazhumalam. In today's place it is called as Sirhari, and if you look at the name of the deity, it is called as Thoniyappar. He is called as Thoniyappar here, and his consort is called as Thirunilai. This is at the place called as Nagapattinam, and a very auspicious place. This is the place where Thiruñana Sambandar was fed with the auspicious milk. And we all know, as of today, he was one of the child prodigy, and he was able to sing so many padigams. He was the one who revived Saivism. He was the one who revived Tamil as well. If you look at the grammatical aspects and the most complicated verses in literature, there is none other than Thiruñana Sambandar's padigams. So those of you who are interested to learn Tamil literature, the first thing which would be a real feast for you guys will be the first three Thirumurais. And this place is also one of the Nayanmar's birthplace. He is called as Gananathar. This place called as Sirhari has got 12 names: Brahmapuram, Venupuram, Pugali, Venguru, Thonipuram, Pundarai, Sirapuram, Puravam, Shanbai, Kari, Kochaivayam, Karumalam. These are the 12 names for this particular place. And the total padigams for this place is, from the first Thirumurai we have 23 padigams, at least what we got. Second Thirumurai we got 22 padigams. Third Thirumurai we got 19 padigams. Fourth Thirumurai we have 1. Fifth we have 1. 7 we have 1, which is what our thought process is going to be on. And the 11th Thirumurai there is 1 as well. We are going to start with the first verse in this particular padigam now. Sadhalum, pirathalum, thavirthu ennai vakuthu, thannarul, thantha, emthalaivanai, malaiyinmaathinai, mathithangor paal konda maniyai, varupunal, sadai, yidai, vaitha, emmaanaiyethilen, manathukku, irumbunda, neerai, envagai, oruvanai, engal piraanai, காதில் வன் குழையனை கடல் கொளமிதந்த கழுமல வளநகர் கண்டு கொண்டேனே. The history of this padigam goes this way. When Nambi Aarurar was making his journey towards Chidambaram, all the way from Thiruvannainallur, he comes to Chidambaram. That is the place where Lord Shiva directs him to Thiru, because his birth reason, one of the birth reason, stays in Thiruvallur. So Lord Shiva directs him to Thiruvallur. On his way from Chidambaram to Thiruvallur, he is visiting this place called as Thirukazhumalam. But he realizes this is the birthplace for Thiruñana Sambandar. So he is a little bit not so comfortable to step on that particular place, because it's such an auspicious place and he doesn't want his foot to be placed in this particular place, in this particular sthala. So what he does is, he's just going around the place. That is where Lord Shiva appears in front of him and he shows the Kailaksha vision. And that blissful state provoked Nambi Aarurar to sing this particular padigam. That is why you see the last line of this verse as, I have seen Lord Shiva who resides in Kailash, now in this place called as Kazhumalam. That is how he concludes almost all the verses. Now let's look at the first line. Sadhalum, pirathalum, thavirthu ennai vakuthu. The meaning goes this way. Lord Shiva had done a lot of chemical work in me, as in the chemistry work rather. What had happened is, I am not going to die. If at all I die, I am not going to be born again. So that is what Lord Shiva had promised me. Remember, the same meaning we had seen in the very first Thirupadigam also. In the fourth verse, in the first Padigam, which is Thiruvennai Nallur, we had seen the same meaning. He says, Mudiyen ini piraven, right? Exactly the same. I'm not going to die. Even if I'm going to die, I'm not going to be born again. And that is what he says as the very first line itself. And then he says, Lord Shiva had given his blessings to me. Thannarul. Arul means grace. Lord Shiva had given his grace. He had spilled all his grace on me, which is going to transform me in such a way that I'm not going to be born, neither I'm going to be dead as well. He also mentions that Lord Shiva is in the form of Ardhanarishwara. Now, when you look at this concept of Ardhanarishwara, it is not a myth, rather it is pure science. If you look at our body as of today, if we dissect into two, the left part of our body will be a little bit smaller and it will be a little bit softer and it will be a little bit delicate compared to the right side. Whether we are a male or a female, it doesn't matter. The left sides, all the organs will be a little bit smaller compared to the right. Right will be more powerful. Lord Shiva took the right side and Parvati Devi is on the left. That is exactly how our physiology is made as well. Not only that, Lord Shiva had given equal 50% to his consort. You don't see this even in the normal, like in a modern society. Even we don't see this legally as of today, even in this 21st era. But long ago, Lord Shiva had given 50% equality. Nowadays we are talking about women freedom, women activities and all these, but if you look at it, this was given to us long back, and Lord Shiva depicts that in the form of Ardhanarishwara. Not only that, this is also a form of potential energy and kinetic energy which activates this entire universe. The entire universe is functioning because of the potential energy and kinetic energy. If you look at it, Lord Shiva is the potential energy, Shakti is the kinetic energy, which makes this entire world moving. The main reason for movement is the potential and the kinetic energy. So that is what the next line talks about. And then he says, Lord Shiva is also having the river Ganges on his hair. When Ganges came with so much of a rigor, no one was able to take it, and earth was obviously not able to withhold that kind of a pressure. Lord Shiva, when he wanted to save the world, save the earth, he just took one strand of his hair and he holded the entire water, gushing water on his just one strand of hair. So you can see how powerful Lord Shiva is, and we can also see how the holy river Ganges came down to earth. Not only that, we are also talking about another beautiful analogy here. He says, have you ever seen a hot iron taking away water and it will never let go of that water? That is how I am today. The inner meaning is very simple. I have become, you are like the hot iron and I'm like the water. I'm already in you. I'm never going to be out. Whatever you have given me, whatever experience and bliss you have given me, it is like the water and in the hot iron, hot rod, and it is never going to be out anymore. Not only that, there is another verse in Sokkanada Venba which says, it is not the iron that sucks out the water, but rather it is the hot or the heat in it. So the heat is, I'm like an iron, normal iron, but Lord Shiva is the heat in me, who made me absorb the water droplets, which is nothing but all his upadesh that was given to me, and I have taken it. I'm never going to let go of those. That is exactly what is the meaning of this metaphor, where he says the hot iron rod and water droplets on it. And also he says Lord Shiva has a beautiful white color stud on his ears, and this kind of Lord Shiva is in the place called as Kazhumala Valanagar, and that is the place I have seen him as well. So he is talking in the form of like happiness, bliss. The moment he saw Lord Shiva, that excitement just came out as a beautiful verse. We are going to discuss about this particular padigam one by one with his grace. I'll come back again with the second verse very soon. Until then, Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam.